Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're doing the December 2021 forecast from GavsWeatherVids for today's second video. So very late with this. It's the 6th of December. Should have had this done a few days ago. It's just the way that the calendar has worked out this year with the winter forecast, everything else that we've been doing. So it's got a little bit delayed. But I will get on with the December forecast for you in a second. Just say that the first video release was our 7 AM upload, and we've also got the 10 to 14 day that will include all our break features coming up for you in around an hour or so's time. So please like, share, subscribe on videos. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. We'll have a little review of the November forecast, and we'll have a sneak peek at the end of January. First month of the new year. Wow. We'll have a look at that at the end of the video. Right, let's have a look at November then. So the just say that the GavsWeatherVids November forecast was for average temperatures, average precipitation, with milder periods and cool snaps offsetting one another. We did predict that late on in the month we might get, a spell of northerly winds, a bit of a northerly blast, and some quite cold weather, and that verified actually. But overall, the temperature for November did come out a little bit above the 81 to 2010 average in most parts of the country, although for like central southern England actually it was a little bit cooler there, within half a degree of average, so it's about average for like much of central southern England. But from sort of North Wales, North Midlands northwards into the northern half of the country, it was a milder than average month. Not excessively so, but slightly above average temperatures in November. It was also dry as well, very dry November, particularly for more southern areas. So that side of the forecast really did go right. We went for like average precipitation. It turned out significantly drier than normal. It's actually one of the top 20 driest driest Novembers on record, so it's an exceptionally dry month. And a little bit more than average, especially in the northern half of the country. So I'm not sure the November forecast panned out all that well, to be honest. I think it was a little bit milder and also a little bit, or quite significantly actually, drier than anticipated. We did, however, pick up on that cold snap at the end of the month. So the final week of November did turn a lot colder, and but for that, it would have been a milder month than this. Actually, it would have been a warmer month to average than that shows. But for the final week, which really did sort of drop the temperature down a lot. And we correctly, I should say, identified that sort of final week cold snap. So, a little bit of a mixed bag. Not sure the forecast itself went all that well, but we did get the end of month or month end northerly blast correct. Right, so let's move on to December then. This is the mean surface pressure anomaly for December from CANSIPS, showing a classic sort of zonal westerly setup, high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north, and bringing in a strong westerling zonal flow. So CANSIPS showing that December is going to be very mild, if that is right. The temperature anomaly for December with CANSIPS is significantly above average, and the precipitation anomaly is also wetter than average. A mild wet month being predicted there from CANSIPS for December. CFSV2 looks like this, very similar, but maybe a little bit more influence from high pressure ridging up from the southwest. However, it is very flat, very zonal and westerly winds in from off Atlantic. So that is also another Atlantic-driven forecast from CANSIPS. Not particularly warm with the temperature though, so only about average actually. So you probably look at that and think that it would be milder than that. Maybe a little bit of influence from the northwest, with projection doing something a little bit like that perhaps. Might explain why the temperature anomaly is actually not all that mild for what looks like an Atlantic-driven month. And the precipitation anomaly, again, not much of a similar, wettest out to the north and west, not overly wet though. So there is a bit more influence from high pressure going on with CFSV2. And then we've also got the Beijing Climate Centre 500 millibar height anomaly, this one dropping below average height, low pressure in from the Atlantic. High pressure is pulled out here. This is a little bit colder, I would think, lining up the jet stream northwest south. It's not a particularly cold month because there's no northern blocking involved with this. There's no high latitude blocking to really force cold air out of the Arctic and out of the pole and down into Europe. So it's not desperately cold, but lining up the jet stream northwest to southeast, it is a little bit cooler. You know, there would be at the very least cold snaps possible. And actually the model is going for a slightly below average temperature anomaly for December. A little bit below average for the temperature in December with beige climate centre, which is somewhat unusual. You know, you don't see that all that often with these seasonal models. They are very much towards above average temperatures. It's not excessively so, but it is around half a degree or so below average there for the beige climate centre. And also another unsettled month is predicted with this model with above average rainfall. So yeah, you know, that's how the models are looking. I think we're just going to go with the GavsWeatherVids winter forecast, which for December set, because we're only a few days in, so why not? I mean, it's kind of backed up by model output anyway, maybe not, CANSIPS, but certainly the CFS and Beige Climate Centre, look within the realms of the winter forecast, which was suggesting like average sort of temperatures with cold snaps and moderate interludes offsetting one another. A little bit cooler, therefore, than a lot of Decembers over the past years. We haven't had a really cold December since 2010. The December, to remember, was our last really cold December, and this isn't going to be one of them either. This isn't going to be a really cold December either, but I think it will be a little bit cooler compared to a lot of the very mild Decembers that we've had over the past several years. So I would say close to average with the temperature. Might be a little bit above that, you know, a little bit above average, might be a little bit below, but it should all be within half a degree or so of the 81-2010 average, I would have thought. So close to average there. Precipitation-wise, I mean, it is going to be quite an unsettled month, so maybe rather above average. We did go for the possibility of quite a wettish start to this winter in our winter forecast. Then things should gradually trend drier and colder as the winter goes along, particularly later on into January. So I think overall we go with winter forecast. We say average temperature, a little bit wetter than average, quite an unsettled month, and there will be cold snaps and mud interludes offsetting one another. So we will see the winter pattern. I think we already have seen the winter pattern trying to emerge. That happened at the end of November, I think, with that big northerly blast. So at times we will see colder interludes, but at times we will also swing back to the pattern we had during the autumn, which was a warm autumn pattern with high pressure centred over Central Europe and bringing up both mild or warm air from the middle of the Atlantic. So at times we will try to get back to that, but that pattern will try to hang on by its fingertips. But other times through the month, I think we will see the winter pattern coming through, and so therefore we come out close to average. There may be a very cold spell at some point through this month, but I would think that's more likely into January. However, if we did get a very cold spell, I would suspect, similar to November, it would actually come late on in the month, and that would probably include like Christmas, or at least a Christmas week, sometime between Christmas and New Year. We might get like an easterly, or even a northerly, but I think more likely an easterly, you know, between Christmas and New Year, but might deliver some very, very cold weather. But I would suggest that's most likely later on in winter. I think it's a little bit early in the winter for that to happen. But it's something to take note of, that it's a possibility. Christmas is like 50-50. As we said in winter forecast, we might get a cold Christmas. Could also be a very mild Christmas. It just depends where we are with these colder and milder into, you know, alternating almost on a day-by-day basis at times through this month, I think. So, you know, we might time it just right to get a cold day on Christmas Day, but it's 50-50. Right, so that's the December forecast. More or less identical to the winter forecast, because there's no point deviating from the winter forecast at this point, and we only released it a few days ago. Let's just have a look at January. Now, this completely goes against the winter forecast. The winter forecast is suggesting that January gets colder, and probably from a Scandinavian high, an easterly wind. But if this is right, then the winter forecast is a bust, and January is going to be exceptionally mild, or very mild, with low pressure around Greenland and Iceland, high pressure from the Azores into Europe, and a long fetch southwesterly wind. So if a winter forecast is going to verify, then that pattern from the CFS in January has got to shift a lot. Very significant shift has got to take place, or else the GavsWeatherVids winter forecast will bust. big time. But given we got December to go through yet, I'm not worried. You know, I'm not worried. Does this space look worried? No, I'm not worried at the moment. We will see how it all comes together. And we've got enough to worry about with December. So that's what I'm saying. I'm sticking to it. Right, so that's the December forecast done. We will, of course, evaluate this forecast at the beginning of January and see what's happened. We'll be back very shortly with your 10 to 14 day. That will include all the regular features, so come back for that then. But for the GavsWeatherVids December 2021 forecast, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.